My name is Anne Gould, and I'm telling my quilt story at Maine Quilts 2018 in Augusta, Maine on Thursday, July 26, 2018. This is the first quilt that I made. I took an adult ed course, and I was working about 60 hours a week at the time, so I went to this adult ed course at night. And our oldest daughter was in first grade, so I distinctly remember that, because her kindergarten teacher was in my class and I really didn't like her very much. That's how I remember, you know, where it was. But anyway, I had a lot of experience sewing clothes, but I knew nothing about quilts. I had gone to one quilt show and the kids were pretty little, and I got interested, so I decided to take this adult ed class. Well, I was very busy, and I often played ice hockey at like 10 at night because that's when you could get the ice time. And so my husband was nice enough to let me go there, and so I wouldn't get home till like midnight or 1 o'clock. So I was like a very busy person. So I'm at this first adult ed class, and they're telling you, you know, buy this fabric, and they said, and so I'm used to sewing, right? And I'm like, okay, so we're going to take this perfectly good fabric and we're going to cut it up in little pieces, and then we're going to sew it back together again, and by hand, and then we're going to quilt it by hand. And I'm thinking, how am I ever going to get this done? You know, I don't have any time. You know, kids were little and everything, so but I was hooked anyway on the quilting. So I just started going to adult ed and doing it 3 hours a week, and working on it at home. And so that class was mainly a sampler class. So most of the people in the class made maybe 12 blocks like this. They had 12-inch or whatever size they were, and they, you know, add the little sashing, and they made 12 of those, and they put them, you know, in order so that they made a quilt. Well, I don't know why I didn't do that, but I didn't. I fell in love with this Persian star, which has, I can't remember, 400 or 600 pieces, and I pieced it together by hand, and the instructor helped me miter it. And so anyway, the sampler blocks, this one my daughter in first grade brought home on construction paper and said, you need to put this in my quilt. So anyway, so I did all this. I didn't know anything about quilting, but you know, I did that, and I did the blocks, and then I had to add these triangles to square it up. And so I have learned really a lot since then. And my quilting, my hand quilting's gotten really a lot better. But my daughter, this is her quilt, and she has a dog, so she hasn't taken it to her house yet, but now she's just about ready to take it to her house. And I started when she was in first grade. I finished it when she was in 7th grade. So anyway, I still do a lot of quilting, and I've learned a lot.